Hello everyone and welcome to Whiskey Wars. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my 3 favourite bourbons. Now I did this video previously just over a year ago, but I have added quite a few bourbons last year to my list, and therefore my list has changed. Although one of them remains a staple in that top 3. In fact it's my favourite, it's just unbeatable. You might know what that one is, but there are 2 new ones here for you today. You've probably guessed one of them, but I bet you haven't guessed the other one. So if you guys had seen my budget whiskey of the year video, which I posted last month, then you will know what my third pick today is going to be. But I do believe there's 2 better whiskies out there, but they are a little bit more expensive. So in number 3, my budget whiskey of the year, 2024, the Eagle Rare 10. Now I know in America some of you guys the whiskey is quite hard to find, but in the UK luckily it is in every website, every shop pretty much. It's really easily accessible, and it's really affordable as well. This whiskey retails, honestly, it's around £35 in the UK, but when offers are on, which are quite regular, it's £30. And I just think £30 for a 45% 10-year-old Buffalo Trace whiskey is just exceptional value. I love the flavour on this whiskey. Now, what I will say is it's not the most complex whiskey. I'm sure many of you have tried this whiskey. It's not the most complex, but not every good whiskey, not every great whiskey has to be complex. Of course, like, for me personally, I would need some complex whiskies to keep me happy. However, I also need some more simple whiskies to keep me happy as well. Because there are some days where maybe you're preoccupied with something and you just want a background whiskey, something sweet and simple that you can drink and relax to without thinking about the whiskey. And this just fits the mould perfectly. This whiskey did not last me long. In fact, I think this is the quickest bottle that I've ever drunk in my life. I just got into a groove where I was constantly reaching for this whiskey. It was like how a comfort food is to some people. This was like a comfort drink. It really did fill a need, a craving for me. So this is a bottle that I will be rebuying 100%. I just thought I'd mention it. The Eagle Rare 10. Now for the other 2 positions, they're actually barrel proof whiskies, and I'm going to start off with a new whiskey in my collection, and that's going to be the Elijah Craig barrel proof. Now this one is batch A123, bottled at 62.8% ABV or 125.6 proof. It's a 12-year-old non-chill filtered Elijah Craig. So it's 2 years older than the Eagle Rare. By the way, that reminds me, I haven't actually released the neck pour for this video. I actually filmed it on Christmas Day with Yasmin, so that one is coming soon, because this was actually a gift from Yasmin. After some heavy hinting, I will say. And I have John to thank for that as well, from the Whiskey Neighbour, because I was stuck between Booker's and the Elijah. Even though John does prefer Booker's, I went for the Elijah. Maybe Booker's will be next Christmas. But if you are interested in seeing that neck pour when it comes out, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because that review is going to come out pretty soon. Let me just tell you, the neck pour and how it is now, a month later, is hugely different. I love that. To be honest, I love it when a neck pour completely changes once it opens up. Some of the time it doesn't, it's pretty consistent, but with this whiskey the change was huge. The neck pour was a lot more nondescript than how it is now. And that's why it's made the list. It wouldn't have made the list based on the neck pour, but I won't say too much more than that because that is coming soon. And yesterday, guys, I have been working on, I haven't filmed it yet, I'm going to film it soon, but I have been working on, I was almost going to show my final pick, this Elijah Craig barrel proof against the next barrel proof whiskey. And I was just doing my note taking so that when I record my Whiskey War, I'll have some things to talk about. In fact, 95% of the time I record Whiskey Wars, I do it on the spot, side by side. But with these two, because they're barrel proof, I wanted to give a little bit more time drinking. And if I'm being honest, I filmed them in a war just for fun, without filming. So I didn't film them in a war, I drank them in a war. Just for fun, like I usually do. And I was getting so many notes that I wanted to write them down. So just a couple of notes here that I thought were really nice is in the Elijah Craig, I get buttered pastry and a little bit of chocolate, whilst also getting a little bit of fig in there, which gives a little bit of fruitiness, but it's far more caramelized and oaky and a little bit of chili pepper than it is fruity. But there is something in there, and it was really developing. I was loving it. Buttered pastries and chocolate. I don't think I've had buttered pastry on a bourbon that I own before, so it was really mind-blowing to see the difference. But anyway, that's enough from that. Do make sure you subscribe to the channel, because not only is the neck pour coming out that was filmed with Yasmin, but I'm going to be recording a Whiskey War very soon. In fact, I might do it after this video's recorded. So finally, to make the top 3 is going to be my next whiskey, which will be filmed in this Whiskey War with the Elijah Craig. And that is a whiskey that I bought, I think about 4 years ago now, for £30, £32. Not that price now, it's now £55. But it still is one of my favourite bourbons. And in fact, it's still one of my favourite whiskies. If I had to pick 10 whiskies, I'd probably choose this one in the 10. And that is the Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Now the 101 is good, but it's not one of my favourites. This whiskey, I hear a lot of people say, is it worth the upgrade from the 101? And I always say yes, it really is. For me, I get such a different profile as I do with the 101. I love it. So this is barrel proof at 116.8 proof or 58.4% ABV. The Wild Turkey Rare Breed. And I actually think if you're a Scotch drinker and you're thinking about bourbons, but you find them a little bit too dull, a little bit too one-dimensional and a bit boring, I really recommend the Wild Turkey Rare Breed. And I say that because I actually get a lot of spices, and it doesn't come across as oak and chili and really hot. It comes across super flavoursome. So you get a lot of nutmeg in here, some clove. It's just an interesting whiskey. There's a fruity nature to the whiskey, as well as your traditional bourbon notes, but it's really well done. I adore this whiskey. And actually, I'm a little bit sad that it's getting so low. I realised I didn't mention the price for the Elijah Craig. This whiskey was about €85, so about £70. In the UK, I think actually it's more around that £85. So £85, €85. Certainly cheaper if you buy it in some markets in Europe. And it's also cheaper, I believe, in America. But still, I would say worth the money. Okay guys, these are my top 3 bourbons as of 2025. We have the Eagle Rare 10, the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and the Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Do let me know in the comments down below what your favourite 3 are. I always read the comments, I'm always learning as well. Plus, I do like some recommendations for ones to buy in the future. As always guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and that subscribe button. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you all for the next Whiskey War.